Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. How are you? Um, so let's remember that today we are in the throat chakra of the emotional week of Pisces, the month of Pisces. And today our topic is surrender. So in speaking in Spanish, I just forgot what was the topic for today. So surrender. So I hope that you have been able to read the post for today with information about what it means surrender, because this topic is something that hurt us a little bit from the point of view of culture. So I would like to explain why we are going to speak about surrender during the Pisces month. Because the archetype of Pisces is to give everything to the others, to do as possible to accomplish the dreams of others. So this ideal will of Pisces, of having everyone being happy, sometimes it's really tough, really difficult, and impossible to accomplish. So this is why this archetype usually gets frustrated, and because it doesn't see how these dreams are very difficult to make real. So this is why we need to learn how to surrender and what it means to surrender and how we can surrender. So let's try to understand what this topic means, to surrender, from the point of view of our cultures today, and then we will go back in time. So when we hear the term surrender in our culture today, it feels much more like a defeat, like something that is wrong, that is not good to do, really bad, and that we have to overcome all our conflicts, that we have to go till the bottom of the things, that we have to earn our lives, that we have to fight for what we are looking for, we are willing to in our lives. And all these concepts makes surrender an idea of fail. But this comes from two different point of view, from two versions in the present. From two versions. One in the present is related to the capitalism, and the other one, which is the old one, is related with agriculture. So from the point of view of capitalism, for sure, many of you here have ideas socialistic ideas, communistic ideas, feminism ideas. But even though, if you believe in that, for sure, all of you live through capitalism. And this is because capitalism is the idea of the capital, and is something really old that was designed according to the success. To have success in life means that you are able to survive in life. So capitalism is the concept of survival, the concept of having success in the things that you do. So you can exit from one spot to another, from being poor to be rich or whatever. So talking about this idea of the capitalism, we all are a bit capitalistic, because the idea of the capitalism comes from the survival. And when you need to survive, you need to store things. You need to have things in order to keep you alive. So in such a way, somehow, the history of capitalism is the history of success, of exiting one spot to going into a better one, into earning matter to allow you to survive more. So beyond the utopic idea of living all as one and in harmony, the basics of our biology is to survive, which is to take as much as we can from the environment so we can survive. And this makes that capitalism is the basics of our bodies, which are trying to be successful life by surviving. So somehow, some way, every one of us, we have a capitalistic body. So because of this idea of a capitalistic body, we have to understand that this is a very basic thought. We can start to think much more deep about this, and of course there's many other ways to explain this, but let's go to the very basic thing of our biology. Our biology says, if I don't eat today, I will die. So the body is about earning and absorbing things and storing things, because the body says, the only way in which I can earn time is if I earn space. So earning space means to storage matter. So the body says, if I storage food for a month, the body says, I can live for a month. So if I storage a house and food for a year, I will sleep and eat for a year. That's a basic thought, okay? I'm not saying here that this is like this. I'm just saying that this is the thought of the body. Okay. So the body needs to keep doing things in order to get things, so it can live longer. So through thousands of years of this survival practice, what the body has been doing is to try to do as many things as possible to storage as much things as possible. But what happened here, that if someone cannot work enough in order to get the things, suddenly they don't have much more food, they don't have house, they are not fighting to have those things. So the body interpreted this like, oh, so I'm losing, I can die. And the other ones around are saying, if you don't work hard, you won't get the resources to find the food. You will lose your house, you will lose everything. So if you stop doing this, the only way out is this. That's the old thing, the old way of seeing it through thousands of years. We started to fail to see this reality like that. So in this way, through thousands of years, humans started to expand in order to acquire things, to get things, and not lose things. So the thought is, at the beginning was only a tree with plants, and I could have fruit from there, and that's it. But then we have more trees, and then we grow as a family, and we have a terrain, and from that terrain, a big territory. So there's so many people that we need to protect all that territory for ourselves to ensure our future. So we create an army to protect that territory from others that can take it away from us. So what we start to do is to defend the territories, creating a system of protection. And what we start to do is to sorry, I lost the mind. What we started to do was to create an army, defend the territory. So we don't want to lose anything. We start to defend that in order to not to lose it. Okay, because if we lose the matter in hands of other one, if we lose space, the territory, we are losing also time. So if we lose the time, this means that we are dead. So through all thousands of years of history, what we have done is to create this idea, this cultural idea, that if we lose the matter and we are being defeated, we are losing everything, our life. So beside this concept of losing things is born the idea of fighting for things. So we need to fight in order to defend the territory. We need to fight in order to defend, to protect the food. We need to make a hard work in order to have the food, a hard work in order to have the houses. We need to protect, we need to defend, to fight for what we work for. So as I was saying, right now, it's easy sitting here and speaking like this through internet and being very, very, how do you say, philosophical in this, like speaking what about the love and all being one, and why we should fight for this and so on. Yes, of course, that's really easy to make philosophy about this, speaking from this beautiful place and being all through internet. But if now you just cut internet, you just cut all the electricity, and suddenly we no system at all, and everything just disappear, erase from the system, erase. So what we have to do is again to go back to the fields, to seed and harvest our own food. And if someone comes and steals the things that we were working for 1 year, we will defend. We will have to defend what we've done. Our hard work is natural. Okay, so that's basically like this. So this is how capitalistic idea is born in our entire societies, because survival and success in the survival. So for example, when we can say, yes, but there were communities like communism that worked. Why? Because the communities were also exchanging capitals, the goods, and they were sharing all the things. It's good, but they were sharing matter, physical things. So that's the capitals. The only difference here is that you had not opportunities to success of compete system, but not because it's natural not to compete, but because whoever wanted to compete was killed or expelled. So basically, not much freedom there. So what I'm saying here is not that the capitalism is the best system because it's the only one that works. I'm describing here how the humanity used the capitalism throughout the story and how it molded our way of understanding and living, not because it's the best system and the only one that works, but because the capitalism is aligned with our point of view of consciousness. In our level of consciousness, we are thinking about stuff and things. And this is why the capitalism is the best system for all of us, because of our level of consciousness. If we change our level of consciousness, for sure, another system will come up. It's easy like this. So it was the capitalistic idea that, since the very beginning, thousands of years ago, shaped the mind of humans to fight for that what we are willing for. So during all this time of history, what we have done was not only to protect our food and territory. We started to protect also our families, to protect the loved ones, to protect an idea. So we started to fight for our families, for the loved ones, to fight for an idea, for a philosophy. And by fighting for it, we created this concept that we should not surrender, that we must fight for what we want, that we should fight to get the love we want. We should fight and do everything that we want, that we can, in order to accomplish our philosophy, our ideals. So we started to create this concept of not to surrender, because if you surrender, you die. Is this how the ancient way of surviving relates with the actual system, which is the capitalism. So what I want to puntualize here is not to criticize the system, because the system is a system. But what I just want to show here is that in at least the last 300,000 years, humans hadn't evolved nothing in their way of thinking. That from the very beginning until now, we have exactly the same needs. So the reason why we keep doing exactly the same is because we have been using a system that was really useful for our history, for our survival, but it didn't help us to evolve much as a being, which is to fighting for something. Fight for. So throughout this 300,000 years, we have been fighting for things, creating the idea that surrender is to lose, is to die. And this is why today people tell to us exactly the same as our ancestors 300,000 years ago, which is, if you want something, you have to fight for it. So now I will point into this. How many of you here consider yourself a warrior of light? And why? There's no need for you to answer, of course. It's just an answer you have to give to yourself. How many of you are, or how many of you know people that consider themselves warriors of light, that are fighting in order to enlighten the world? So I will explain from my point of view. Some people say that I am a warrior of light, and I am not. I am not a warrior of light, not such a thing. I don't really care about what the other people is doing. I am not working for the light. I am not working for the darkness. I think that each one of them are doing their job. I am doing mine. I don't care. You will never see me speaking about the work of other people. Each one does its own part. So I don't care. So from where comes this concept of a warrior of light? It comes from the concept of you have to fight in order to overcome the opposite and to survive. basically. So I am not a worker of light because I don't like to suffer. So I don't do a hard work. I don't labor in the universe. I am basically a public employee of the universe. Again, killing all the magic. So the reason, all this explanation to understand that we have been using the concept of surrender as something that is wrong, that's something you have to avoid in your life because you have to fight for something. And what really is happening is that surrender, it doesn't mean defeat. It's not related with that. It doesn't mean to lose. And actually, the reason why we are not evolving enough is because we are not surrendering. And we keep fighting in a fight that doesn't exist. So let's analyze the word surrender. I'm going to take notes of the concepts so I don't forget none of them. Let's go in English now. In English, we have here surrender. It comes from the same word in Spanish, surrender. Surrender comes from sub, which is under, below, re, that means again, and der, that means to give. To give something. So, rendere gives the word render. That render means to do something. Renderize is to masterize something, do something, to make a product of something, to render. So surrender is to do something under, to do something below. So surrender, the third concept of surrender means that something that you give comes back to you. It means to give something back. That's surrender. To give something back. And what is that something? The thing that you have done, the things that you have realized, that you have accomplished in your life, you give them, and then you surrender, taking them back towards you. So when you surrender, means that you are taking back all the things that you have given. Okay? So let's understand now to wrap this idea. What is surrender? Surrender is to give energy, to things. So when I do something, I give my energy. When I feel something, I give my energy. When I think something, I give my energy. So when I am doing an action to accomplish something in my life, I am putting my energy. When I am willing to feel something, to have a relationship or whatever, I am putting my energy in that. When I am thinking and sharing my thoughts with others, I am putting my energy in that. The thing is that we are constantly putting our energy, give our energy away to the things. But what we normally do is to fight in order to have a result with that energy. So we are fighting constantly to get what we act, to get the emotions that we are looking for, to get the ideas, the feedback of the ideas that we are looking for. And we are fighting so much that we waste our own energy constantly. So what we are doing is basically fighting and losing energy all the time. So what it means to surrender? To surrender means to take that energy back to me and to use it in another moment, to use it in a moment when you consider it would be better. It's not losing, it's earning energy for the right moment. It's not stop fighting, it's to be intelligent in how you use your energy. So when you surrender, you are just taking that energy back. It's like, for example, going to sleep. Imagine if you think when you go to sleep, you say, oh my God, I'm losing my life. Why should I sleep? I don't want to do this because I'm wasting time. I fight for my life. Imagine that you take every time, every night that you go to sleep as a surrender. Your body needs to earn energy for the next day. So to surrender is not to lose, is to save energy. Is to learn how to manage, to administrate the inner energy. So as examples, you have the martial arts, all the Asian, from the Buddhism, Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, all that is to learn how to manage your energy, how to save your energy and use it for the right thing in the moment. So the Tao, all these teachings from Asia were about how to surrender, how to surrender, how to manage your own energy. So this would be these Asian philosophies that are telling us you should not fight. Don't lose time on the fight. You should earn and save this energy for the right moments and the right things. So you are not fighting to get things. Things will come to you as you take care of your own energy. So have you understand now that surrender is nothing wrong, that surrender is not losing a war. Surrender is saving the energy for the right moment. So from the physical body, from the soul in the emotion, from the spiritual mind, we can surrender. And remember, surrender means to bring back the power to me. So now, for example, there's a lot of people speaking about the power of surrender, and now from the etymology we'll understand what it really means, why surrender has much more power than fighting for something. Okay. And today I wrote in the post, I wrote about this example, that someone that lost himself in the sea, and that person knows that his house is 5,000 kilometers ahead, and he's willing to get to his house, but just behind has an island 50 kilometers behind where the currents of the sea are taking this person. But this person is fighting so much that that person doesn't let go. If that person doesn't surrender, the current won't be able to bring that person to the shores of the island where there is an airport that can take you home. And that person, by fighting, wastes all the energy left that he had and drowns in the ocean. Sometimes we don't surrender because we believe we are not going to be able to survive unless we fight this battle that we have ahead. But sometimes when you surrender and you go behind, you will find 100 different ways to overcome that battle. So my advice for all the spiritual people willing to create a new society, a new civilization: don't waste your energy on fighting against the old system, the old world, because the new one is coming anyway. So it's better if you keep your energy to live it. Parentheses. So just parentheses from this. Next month, we will start the battle, which is the month of Aries. We will go into the battle. But in order to restart the will of that battle, of that energy of the fight, we need to surrender so we can do it properly. So we can really do it when it is the right time. Okay, so let's go for the information for today. The vibration for today is P. The code for today is balance. And discerning my parts as the universe I am, the order and schematization of everything that I am leads me to found the attributes of balance. This way begins the process of balancing the positive and negative, of placing coherence into priorities and strengthening the axis of my being. This axis, positioned in the center, is what will give strength and veracity to my existing purpose. Nothing is thrown away by balance, for the key is recycling. Everything is useful, the homeostasis of the being. Sit comfortable. Close your eyes and concentrate in your breathing. Take a deep breath, and I feel the energy of my body, the heat and the cold, the places where it moves throughout my body, around it and within it. I become aware that this energy is emotions. All the emotions that I can feel right now, that are moving through my body in this moment. I watch them, feel them, recognize them. I recognize that my emotions are my energy, that my energy is the magnetism that emerges from the particles that creates my electrons, my atoms. So I bring all this energy to the core, and as I take a deep breath, I make it explode, expanding all my body towards the infinite, dissolving all of it, every atom, like a star exploding in the cosmos. I can feel the energy of my soul expanding towards the infinite. I recognize that all of this that exploded, expanded, is all the things that I give to the universe, all the things that I deliver to the existence through my own energy. As I see the expansion of myself, I can figure that around me there are barriers. There are things that enable to me to expand. So I picture them. They are the conflicts that holds me, the things that I am fighting against to. Picture all these battles of your life. And I recognize that the reason why I can't fight them, I can't overcome them, is because I used all my energy, my power on the expansion. So I have to gain back all this energy towards me to be able to irradiate and go beyond. So I take a deep breath, and with my imagination I start to bring back every atom, particle, molecule towards me, bringing the energy that composes me. And the way I do it is by surrender. I must surrender for everything, for the energy and the power to come back. So as I do it, taking deep breath, I watch straight to the battles of my life, and I surrender. I let myself surrender in front of them. I take a deep breath, and I stop expanding, making the retreat. Coming back to me, to the bride from within. And with my singing, I start to call back all the things that were apart from me, dissolve around. And I recognize that putting all my energy together, I restore the will to create again, to manifest in coherence, to co-create. I am the will that co-creates. I am the will that co-creates. I am the will that co-creates. I believe. Take a breath and becoming aware of all this energy that I took back to me. I start to bring this consciousness all around the body, caressing, stretching, and each one at its own time, come back here and now. Thank you, everybody, for being here always. And see you tomorrow at the same time.